Here is Garissa University, 7 Dawns of Renaissance, as narrated by Dennis Aseto. I am Ashley Mazuri. Our sign language interpreter is Damien Evans. I leave you with that story.
By the time the attack was over, at least 147 lay dead. It was a moment of national anguish, a collective sorrow. Al-Shabaab had struck yet again with a devastating hand of death. For a nation that is known for its deep ethnic divide, the raid on Garissa University brought out a sense of unity in daring defiance to terrorism. Al-Shabaab could have won the battle, but not the war. The wage that the Somalia-based group was trying to drive among religions would not hold. It never did.
On behalf of my government, I extend condolences to the families of those who have perished in this attack. We continue to pray for the quick recovery of the injured and the safe rescue of those still being held hostage. I also assure the nation that my government has undertaken appropriate deployment to the affected area and is fully seized of the situation. I also take this opportunity to urge Kenyans to stay calm as we resolve this matter and to provide the authorities with any information they may have in connection with any threats to our security.
First of all, 90% of the threat has been eliminated, as I speak to you now, at a cost, a very, very heavy cost. As regard to human life lost, as it stands now, we are able to rescue over 500 students.
As the world united in condemning the raid on the Northern Kenyan University, Al-Shabaab was gloating. The group had visited the second deadliest attack on nation since the August 1998 bombing of the American embassy in the center of Nairobi. It left over 220 people dead and hundreds others injured. Professor Ahmed Osman was the principal of Garissa University, then a constituent college of Moi University. He had seen the signs of trouble.
You see, I always lived on the inside. Even that night I was in here. What happened was, before we were attacked, there were so many incidents that happened outside Garissa, particularly in Mandera. And I've been writing to the county commissioner then to give us reinforcement. And he said he did not have enough security apparatus at the time, so the only thing they could do was to bring in patrol vehicle to patrol between midnight and 3 a.m. in the morning. So I kept on writing and writing and writing from December. I came in October. So when I came in October, I realized most of the students, when I met them, I realized most students were from outside Garissa. There were only, I think, 5 Muslim students. What surprised me was that, because the rest were from outside Garissa. So I looked at the student, I realized we're going to have Al-Shabaab here one day. But I even said it, I even told the students and the lecturers who were there that day. But they took it lightly, everybody was laughing.
Sasa tukasikia sauti mbili, as in kaza gunshot hivi. Tukatoka nje. Venye tulitoka nje, hatukuwa tumejua ni gunshot. Tulikuwa tunafikiria labda ni stima juu some classes hakukuwa na stima. Immediately tukaona watu wawili wametokea, wamevaa askari, wako na bunduki. Wakatushoot immediately, wakatushoot direct at once. Mmoja wetu akaanguka pale, sisi tukatoroka.
7 years since the painful incident, families of those who perished have been clinging on the healing hands of time for grace and comfort. As the sun sets in Garissa, a new hope is dawning. It would be a meaningless life if humanity didn't have the courage at new beginnings. Garissa University is seizing the opportunity to begin again, but this time more intelligently. They came from far and wide across the nation in search of education, only to be felled by the crude hands of the cruel. Here, they are remembered as soldiers of fate and heroes of our cause, but unfortunate victims of cruelties of terrorism. They are immortalized here as part of Kenya Army of the Dead, loved and cherished, yet not forgotten. The aftermath of the attack was nothing but bad publicity, not just for the university, but for Garissa as a whole. Recovering from this has not been an easy call. At the time of the attack, Somalia was under the presidency of Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. Being at its potent self, Al-Shabaab had attempted severally to take out the head of state, who was then pushing for the lifting of an arms embargo on Mogadishu. He believed that this would allow the government to import modern weapons to confront the jihadist group. He never succeeded. Instead, he would lose the 2017 polls to Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo. Farmajo's regional territorial ambitions would put him at loggerheads with Kenya, whose troops were battling Al-Shabaab in Somalia as part of African Union Mission in Somalia, or AMISOM. However, 2022 saw a return of Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud following an acrimonious end to Farmajo's term. Upon taking over, Mohamud mobilized locals against Al-Shabaab. Today, the group is a pale shadow of its former self and on a back foot, as it is driven out of the territories it held and controlled by local militias, which are backed by Somalian National Army, AMISOM, and foreign troops. Failed rains as a result of climate change had pushed Somalis to the end of their wits. Despite the losses, the group is still lethal, and for Garissa University, which had lived the Al-Shabaab's hell, lessons have been picked and put into practice.
Well, after we were attacked in 2014, we closed the university for a whole year. The whole of 2015, it was closed. It was opened January 2016, the time we opened. And the then chairman of the council and the council itself had to go to the ministry to ask for a perimeter wall. So we got the perimeter wall with a reservoir, and last time we started building the wall. So it took us almost a year to finish that wall. That was the most important thing. Because of the attack, we realized that we need a wall, and then the other thing that we needed to establish was a police post inside the university, where we have now enough security to take care of the students' safety, both during the day and at night. I think we have seen how they secure the gates now, and every vehicle, every person coming in has to be checked, identified before they come to the university. That has now ensured that there's enough security in the university.
The heat of the furnace cannot be tested with bare fingers. It's another day here at Garissa University. Students who are done with their classes mingle freely. Sometimes lectures take place under the shade as the heat bites. The student population is drawn from both local and non-local communities from various religions. In order to attract more admissions, the university implemented new security measures with focus on integration and religious tolerance.
The increment of students enrolling in Garissa has been improving, because what I told you earlier, that students came in here and they realized that the opportunities here. In fact, the opportunities there, most of them are even carrying out business outside the university. Because others are borders, others are working with other groups within the university. We also have some who are working, we have what's called a work-study program, where students are enrolled in the library or in other places, so that they are paid as they work within the university and go to study also. That has helped us also improve our enrollment, because that's what they say, and they market that to others.
A lot of measures have been put in place with the help of the national government. As you are aware that during the attack, the university was fenced with a chain link fence. The government had put a lot of money to it, and as at now, we have a highly fortified perimeter fence with only 2 access points that are guarded. Equally, the university had been provided an inside police post with enough security strength that provide both guarding and patrol services within and without the perimeter of the university.
For some students, joining this university came after agonizing days of deep thought.
It's Garissa University, and that motive of the attack, I was like, there's no way I'm going there. And I really had to beg even with the KUSIPs and my parents to transfer me. But I think God had the best reason to place me here. In Mombasa, I'd say people socialize so much as compared to Garissa. The first time I came here, I mean, people used to isolate themselves, different cultures, Somali versus Somali, while the other side, the Luo versus Luo, Kikuyu versus Kikuyu. But as compared to right now, when I'm leaving, things have totally changed.
We have the perception that this is a Muslim-based institution and that non-Muslims were not part of it. But when I came, I found so many Christian students, so many local students. So I said, oh, this is a national figure and everybody is here. So I felt at home. I began associating with both students, both the Christian and the Muslims. We built friendships. And I coped up, and I can say up to now, I don't regret being here.
After daring the risk, they are encrusting footprints for the future generation.
I'm very glad about Garissa University because it is for me coming here that I got the exposure of what actually violent extremism is. You know, there in Nairobi, we are not really per se encountering this violent extremism matter, but when I came to Garissa, I actually got to understand what is violent extremism, issues with the recruitment and radicalization, and actually going further on ways which we can prevent and counter violence extremism. Nilipoitwa Garissa University, my relatives were like, siepe ataenda kukufa because of what happened.
I believe in, first of all, diversity. And we believe that humanity comes before religion, irrespective of your creed, irrespective of your position, irrespective of your tribe. What comes before is the humanity, and we are living for the purpose of humanity.
As the university expects an increase in student numbers, infrastructure is being scaled up. More modern complexes are coming up, hand in hand with security enhancements.
There are things we have as a university that other institutions here don't have. We have the field. We are able to create a conducive environment for activities, extracurricular activities. For example, we need to have a facility here that any school in this region would actually program that we are going to the university to do this activity for free, not for hire. Because the more they come and the more they go back to their communities, the more they talk about the university, and therefore the more they own it. To me, it's a very sustainable way of ensuring that everybody protects the interests of the university and consequently the interests of the community itself.
Students are also encouraged to participate in recreational activities that don't limit their youth. Before the attack, Garissa University was emerging as a developmental jewel in the region. Garissa County hosts the Dadaab refugee complex that employs many. However, locals lost hope as workers from other regions stayed away following the incident. The subsequent attacks, especially targeting Christians, dimmed the hope. Non-local teachers and other travelers stayed away, dealing a blow to the education sector. But lately, with Al-Shabaab losses across the border and heightened security patrols, the region is reclaiming its crown. Here in Garissa University, more non-local lecturers have returned. As the institution reflects on its journey, it looks back at the events of 2nd of April 2015 is the bloody event that stained the good old days. The good days that it seeks to redeem while looking forward. And each year has been a new beginning, a new dawn of resilience.
KTN News. Get the whole